Hello everyone, my name is Ricky. Today we will be learning about the standard input and output when it comes to C programs. Now a lot of you watching this video, you'll probably be very new to the language of C. Most of you may even actually have experience with the language of C++. I personally learned C++ before I learned the language of C. I think C++ is pretty much the standard when it comes to starter languages to learn, at least in most college atmospheres. C is mainly used when it comes to operating systems, but nonetheless, it is a very powerful language that has a lot of unique features that would be highly preferable when it comes to comparing them to other languages. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing we will be doing is we will be including the standard input-output library. That will be hashtag include space less than stdio.h and then greater than. Now this will allow us to take in input from the user as well as output things to the user when it comes to the terminal. The next thing we will be doing is we will be including an int main function. Now this could be a void function. I like to use int main and then return 0. Most of the time when it comes to, or pretty much all the time actually, if your function isn't going to be returning anything, you can use a void function. But in this case, we'll be using an int main function. Alright. So when it comes to printing out items, we'll be utilizing printf. And we'll be printing out the standard hello world when it comes to our first program. And since this is a int program, we'll be returning 0. Okay, so we got everything running, and as you can see, it printed out hello world. Now let's take a little bit more of a look at this printf function. Now printf is a function that prints directly to the terminal. Now as you can kind of see here, we utilize quotations, and then what I've done here is I've done a /n that allows a new line to be printed out underneath it. Typically when it comes to printing out items, unless you deliberately want the input to be right next to the information that you're printing out, it's best to use a new line. That way it looks a lot cleaner when it comes to the terminal, and I will go ahead and demonstrate that now. So let's print out a couple more hello worlds, and I'm not gonna use the new line information on that one. So let's go ahead and clear this and then run the program again. And then as you can kind of see right here, down here at the bottom, it printed out hello world, and then since there wasn't a new line and there wasn't a space within this quotation here, it actually printed out the very next item right next to the letter D in the second hello world. And then since there wasn't a new line in the bottom one right here, it actually printed out this little % sign. If you don't want that % sign to be there, it only shows at the end of the program or the last item that you print if there isn't a new line feature. So let's go ahead and clear that, run the program again, and then as you can kind of see, it started a new line here. So the little closing % that the or at least in VS Code does when it comes to ending the program, it will no longer show there. So if you see a % sign at the very end, don't freak out, just add a new line to the last thing that you print before the program terminates. Okay, so what we will be doing next is we will be taking information in from the user. So I'm going to create a variable here called number, and we are going to ask the user type a number. I'm going to put colons here and then add a little space right here. That way when we do the new scanf function, oops, there we go. That way when we do the new scanf function, it'll actually print out right next to it, which will make it look a lot cleaner in the terminal. Okay, and then just so we can see this information, okay, so what have we done here? A lot of information was provided, and as you can see here, we created a new variable, or our first variable actually, called number. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the printf function to print out information to the user. And what we are asking is for them to type a number. Then we're going to utilize this scanf function. Now how the scanf function works is when it comes to these quotations here, you are going to declare what type of variable the user will be scanning in. Now since this variable number here is of type int, we will be using %d, which stands for digit, and it'll just allow the program to know to expect a type of number, or digit rather. And then we use this ampersand here so it can be pointed directly to the variable up here. And then we are going to then print out the number. So now when we utilize this printf, you'll see it's very different from this one as well as the first one that we've done before. So when we print something out, we can allow or declare to the program that we are going to print out a type digit and then input the variable that the terminal will be printing out, which you'll see right here is going to be scanned in by the user. And then as I stated before, the last thing you want to put, the last printf that you're going to be using, you want to add a new line. That way it looks better when it comes to running the program. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. You'll see down here in the terminal, type a number. My favorite number is 23, so I'm going to type in 23. And then it prints out 23 at the bottom. So that will be the end of the first video. As you can see here, we've learned to print something out, we've learned to accept something in from the user, and then we've learned how to print out what the user input. Okay, so as you can kind of see, what seemed like a very simple video was actually packed with a lot of information. If you have any requests or any questions in regards to this, please let me know in the comments. Keep in mind that everybody starts from the beginning when learning a new language. Don't be shy to ask any question in the comments. And if any questions that come up need a follow-up video, I'll be more than happy to do so. I understand that everybody watching this video will probably be very new to the language, so I'm only here to help, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching.